Hello, everybody. Welcome to the episode 33 of the Hrudai Chetan Show podcast. More than what you see. In this powerful, packed, and deeply moving episode, we sit down with Oliver Sir, a speaker, advocate, and storyteller living with an F. Born in South Africa and now based in the UK, Oliver has undergone countless surgeries and faced painful judgments based solely on his appearance. But his journey is not defined by pity, it's defined by purpose, what we promote in our podcast. With humor, honesty, and unshakable faith, Oliver shares what it's likely to grow up with NF in a world that often misunderstands difference. From being asked to leave a restaurant because of how he looks to becoming a voice for those who often are ignored. His story is one of resilience and radical empathy. So let's put our hands and welcome on the screen Oliver Sir. Hello, sir. Welcome to the episode.
Hi, Hrudai. Thank you so much. It's a great honor. Your work's amazing and up and coming podcast on India. So it's a great honor. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. So this will be my second episode of the global podcast.
Well done. You're doing amazing. Well done.
Thank you so much, sir. So let's begin our episode today. Are you excited and are you ready, sir?
Yeah, I can't wait. It's a great honor. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Sir, can you take us back to your childhood? What was it likely growing up with an F?
Okay, it's very difficult. I'm going to explain what NF is. The long word is neurofibromatosis. You get type 1 and type 2. Those of you that are familiar with DNA will know that it's an error code, chromosome 17. So people like me look different. And we have little tumors occurring at the nerve endings and little bumps and lumps under the skin. So from an early age, I looked different to the other children. I had a facial difference. My right eye was sagging on my face and I had tumors all over my body. So it was an incredibly difficult time in my life. Young children at school used to make fun of me. They used to point and stare. They used to call me Cyclops, which in Greek mythology is that creature with the one eye. So they used to call me names. When you are treated differently, you start to believe that you are different. And it informs the way you see yourself when you start to believe it. But I had a really wonderfully supportive family who helped me to navigate a very difficult childhood.
Right. So what is your first ever happiest moment that you could remember in your childhood? Apart from the nonsense, I can say what happened. What's
Yes,
the good
yes.
memory?
I grew up, I live in England now, but I grew up in the beautiful sunny country of South Africa, the southern tip of Africa. And I remember just the most amazing, exciting childhood with my family. We used to go on wonderful picnics, adventures in the countryside. I used to spend a lot of time outdoors because South Africa is very hot. I imagine much the same as India. And I remember really having really happy times with my family, outdoor barbecues and wonderful family events. So I had a very privileged and a very blessed childhood despite the difficulties that I faced.
Wow. How was South Africa?
South Africa is a beautiful country. It's one of the most scenic countries in the world. It's got a beautifully hot climate. It's culturally diverse. South Africa, you'll know, has a complicated political history because of the segregation that was enforced under the policy of apartheid. And I was born in 1982, so I was having to grow. I grew up in the last dark days of apartheid. So people in South Africa were very racially minded. Difference was very apparent, and we were taught from an early age that those that are different to us are somebody to be feared. They're people to be feared, and I think my family weren't like that. We accepted all people. but it was a very complex country to grow up in. And I remember when I was about 10, people of color were allowed to come to our school for the very first time. So that was a strange experience because it was something that we weren't used to. But very fortunately, we made friends with the different races very quickly. And I think my generation is the first generation in South Africa to have grown up integrated and to have grown up accepting people that are different. But I must say, I had a very blessed and full and wonderful childhood growing up in South Africa.
Wow, beautiful. When you said, sir, that people are calling me with names, how were you
Mm.
dealing with those people?
Mm. So I was very hurt. When you're told that you're different, you start to believe it. It affects the way you integrate. You become quite isolated and you feel quite alone in the world.
Yeah,
And it does affect your self-confidence. Very fortunately, and I've said this before, that I had the most wonderful grandmother who gave me a lot of advice growing up. She said, what you need to do each day, you need to wake up, you need to look in the mirror, you need to believe that you are somebody. You need to have confidence, know who you are. The world might be telling you that you're something to be feared, but you're not that person. Just have confidence in yourself, start developing some self belief, and be confident. Face each day with confidence because even though I look like this and I felt insecure, I know many people do. This is a very normal and very common experience for many people. So I think it's important that we all work on our self confidence.
yes. So, what does confidence mean to you personally?
Confidence, to me, it means being assured of my abilities, my skills, being comforted by the fact that there are people who believe in me, who stand up for me. I am somebody. My life has meaning. The suffering in my life and the difficulties in my life mean something. And I'm confident that the lessons that I have learned in life have enabled me to be this person that now speaks to millions of people all over the world through various podcasts and interviews on TV and radio. So, confidence to me, in short, means being assured of my ability, despite some people saying that I'm somebody to be feared, or I'm ugly, or I don't have the skills to succeed. I don't believe that. I have this mantra that I tell myself that what other people think about me is not my business. That's on them. I know who I am. I don't need other people's acceptance. I don't need other people's praise because I know that I'm good enough. So to me, that's what confidence is.
Basically, we need to accept ourselves the way we are and just move on
Mhm.
and ignore others' acceptance upon us.
Absolutely. That's great advice. And
Yeah.
uh, we are social beings. So, of course, we want to be accepted. Of course, we want to be part of the main group at school or in the workplace, the popular colleagues. But that's not the reality for so many of us. So, your confidence has to come from within. For me, it's my faith, it's the support of my family, and it's the assurance that I am good enough, despite evidence to the contrary that some people think I might not be.
That absolutely is correct, sir. I agree with you. So now,
Hmm.
teenagers in this generation are struggling to become confident. If I can ask you, can you give one secret to become confident?
You need to start believing in yourself. You need some mantras. I tell myself every morning what other people think about me is none of my business. Don't be swayed by the likes and the comments on social media because that's not reality. Stop being framed by what people say about you on the various social media platforms. Start being more confident. If you're a man, you look somebody in the eye when you greet them, you give them a firm handshake and you just smile and if you smile at somebody, it just is so disarming. I might look different, but as soon as I smile at somebody and give them a very warm embrace or a handshake, that immediately creates a sense of equality. And it's so disarming just to believe in yourself. People are attracted to those of us who are confident and have a self belief. You need to start thinking you are more than the sum of other people's perceptions. Start believing in yourself more is the advice that I would give to not only my younger self, but to other young people struggling in this world of um, of course, self confidence, the social media world that's not real. Start believing in yourself is the advice I would give.
Right. So we also say that in social media, whatever you say, it is just real life, and in reality, if you see them, it is real life.
Mm, mm. It's not real life. It's totally fake. You could be a hero today and you can be a zero tomorrow. I've noticed it, and I've had about 1.5 million views across my social media platforms over the last month. And as soon as your views go from 10,000 to 200, you start thinking there's a problem. You know, these social media algorithms are designed to um, are designed that way. It's not personal. It's just the way the algorithm works. Stop being affirmed by falsehoods. And I think social media, to a large extent, does give us a false impression about ourselves. So it's not reality. You are loved by your family and your friendship group. That should be enough. Stop worrying what other people on social media think about you.
Yeah, it's just for communication and having fun.
And it's a powerful tool. You know, I once hid away because of how I looked. And I'm so grateful to the various social media platforms as well, because now I get to speak to millions of people. I get to speak to you. I'm in Surrey in England. You're in Bangalore in India. How amazing and incredible is that? It's very,
Yes.
very powerful if it's used effectively and properly.
Yeah, this is the power of social media. We can connect from every nook and corner of this world. Yeah,
It's amazing. It's absolutely incredible.
sitting in one place and connecting to many people outside the country. Wow.
Absolutely. 100% powerful.
Do you use Chat GPT?
I do. I have used it on occasion when I'm struggling for some topics to talk about my journey. And because I've told ChatGPT so much about myself, sometimes it returns the most appropriate message that I'm able to share on my various social media platforms. Sometimes it's a load of rubbish, but in terms of the deep level machine learning, it's really good at starting to get to know me. I always say to people, if you read something that I've said or you listen to something that I've said and it's not true, please tell me because we can't always get it right. Sometimes I have to fact check ChatGPT, but to a large extent, it's a really helpful and powerful tool. I know many people are afraid about it replacing jobs or making us redundant, but I think it's going to be a very powerful tool if used appropriately. And in the next 5 years, we're going to see jobs emerge that we never dreamed possible. So I don't think it's a threat to the way that we work. I think it's a very powerful tool to enable us to work more efficiently and to help us be more creative. So I think it's an amazing time that we are living in.
Yes, absolutely. So I taught my mom how to use ChatGPT, and she was like, "Wow, amazing! I can finish my work in just a few minutes." And
It's
she
incredible.
thanked me so much that thank you for teaching me. This saved my time and
Mhm.
I can concentrate on my studying because she's a Montessori teacher. So
Wow.
yeah,
Montessori, that's amazing. I went to a Montessori school in South Africa in the early 80s. It's been around for a really long time. That's really interesting.
yeah. So I too love studying about child psychology, and
Mm,
she's like, so much I need to study, and I was like, that's easy, mom. You can do it. She's like,
mm,
after you grow up, I want you to do this, and I want you to show me that it is easy. She tells,
mm, mm,
you are sitting there, I'm studying, I know the pain. When I'm studying
mm.
my academics, she tells, this is very easy. So we both play with each other like this. Yeah.
Amazing. It's incredible. Powerful tool, isn't it? Yeah.
And now let's talk about relationships, the power of relationship.
Mm,
How
mm.
are relationships built?
I think relationships emerge from a common interest. You don't just form a friendship with somebody that's completely different. I mean, it is important to mix with all types of people, but you need common ground. I think
Mm,
the very foundation of a relationship means you need something in common. In a family, that relationship is informed by your blood connection. But obviously, when it comes to friendships, you need people in your life that you can serve, that you can uplift, and that share a similar interest to yourself. I think to a large extent, we've forgotten really how to communicate. Social media has taken that from us. So we've lost the art of conversation. This very rich conversation that you and I are having is not a skill that comes easy to some people. So we've forgotten how to communicate. That's a problem. But relationships to a large extent are formed by a common bond, a common background, a common interest. Perhaps you like the sport of cricket. You'll find people that like the sport of cricket, whatever it is. So you'll find people that share your beliefs, share your values, and that's a very powerful thing, I think.
right. So, teenagers nowadays build. That is the point in time where they connect with each other and they build that relationship with each other. So, after a point
Mm,
in time, they break up. That's
mm.
common in every relationship in
Mm.
teenagers. How can they build a fulfilled relationship with each other for a longer period of time?
I think stop trying to think that you're only going to form a relationship with somebody for as long as they can serve you. Stop trying to get something from people. We live in a consumer economy where we are driven by consuming. We're consuming social media. We're trying to get value out of whatever it is. I think leadership, particularly when it comes to relationships, comes from serving others. Start by being a servant to other people. Start by being humble. Start asking yourself, how can I serve that other person? How can I make them a better person? Because that's incredibly powerful. I know the previous captain of the Indian cricket team, Gary Kirsten. He coached India for the longest time, and he said leadership is not a bit of rocket science. It's very easy. Leadership's about forming authentic relationships, and how do we do that? We do that by serving other people. How can I serve my family? How can I serve my friends? How can I be of service to the world? And that is very powerful. I think relationships fail because people feel that they can no longer get something from the other person, where actually they should be serving them and they should be adding value to them. That's what I think is important when it comes to forming relationships and maintaining them for the long term.
Yes. Is it wrong to create a relationship, to be in a relationship?
Could you rephrase that? What do you mean? I mean, I think relationships are important. No man is an island, as the saying goes. We cannot live in isolation. I think people with very poor mental health, the field that I work in, the people with no connections are the people that are struggling with their mental health. So it's very important to form them and keep them going for the long term, but do it with the right motives. Don't do it if you think you're going to get something out of this person. That will come second, of course. That is the added value of being in a relationship, but you need to do it with the right attitude and you need to think about how you can better serve them and better serve your community. Be somebody that serves, not somebody that takes away from other people all the time.
When did you first realize the world saw you differently because of how you look?
Absolutely. So I think at school, when I was called all those names, I started to believe that I was different. Of course, my family normalized different and they didn't treat me any more special or any worse than other people. So that helped to mitigate, that helped to counteract the beliefs that I was starting to form about myself at school, right? So it would have been in my younger formative years and as I grew older, I started to literally care less and less what other people thought about me because I started to work on my self confidence. And I started to listen to the inner voice that said, you are okay, you are loved, you're important, you matter. But school, as it is with everybody, it's a very difficult place. And you start to believe those names, and you start to, and you shouldn't really let those criticisms take root because they can fester and become something really ugly. Long answer for a short question, but at school, I would say it started at school.
You have gone through many surgeries. What has been the
Mm.
emotional and mental toll of going through all of that?
So I've had to learn resilience with neurofibromatosis, the condition that I have. It's agonizing because you never know when it's going to end. So being patient, knowing that one day it will come to an end. My longest time spent in hospital was about 2 years ago for about 3.5 months. And I just didn't think it would ever end. I had so many complications, and I had to tell myself, you need to take one day at a time. One day this will pass. Just be peaceful and present in the moment because it will pass. But the hardest lesson that I had to learn is one of trying to be patient and resilient and digging deep, trying to find that inner strength, trying to lean upon my faith and my family because that's all that matters at the end of the day. But it's been a long, hard road, multiple surgeries, multiple disappointments, multiple surgeries that didn't go well, complications. Just being patient. That's the best lesson I learned.
Was there a moment that you really broke you or nearly did? How did you find the strength to rise again?
I think I probably came close on a few occasions when surgeries weren't going well. And it wasn't just one occasion. There were many occasions where the surgery didn't go well and I had to go back to the operating theatre, back again, back again. And literally, I said to my wife, when will this end? Or to my mom, when will this end? But it did end. It came to an end. This year I've been okay. I've been out of hospital. I've been back at work. And it was about digging deep, about leaning on my family, leaning on my faith, and just taking one day at a time. But there was not one single moment. There were probably a collection of moments. And just when you think you're okay, you have to start again. It's about relearning some of those lessons that I thought I had learned. Being patient is the biggest lesson I learned.
Right. So you mentioned being asked to leave a restaurant because of how you look.
Mm,
Can you tell us what
mm.
happened and how that moment shaped you?
So I've spent about the last 3.5 years in hospital on various occasions. And on one occasion, while I was a hospital patient at a well-known hospital in London, it's called King's College Hospital. It's well known in the neurosurgical world. I decided I was going to go and eat something different. So I went into a local high street in the UK. We call them the high streets, but it was literally a strip of restaurants. And I went to one of these establishments and I said, can I please have something to eat? And they said, we're cash only. So I went to draw the money, went back. They said, we can't serve you. The customers complain, you're scary, we can't serve you. And they said that a few times, and I couldn't quite believe it or make sense of it, but I felt dejected. I went to a local park, and I started to cry a bit. And then I went back to the hospital and I told the hospital staff, and they couldn't believe it either. And my wife came to support me, and we responded to the restaurant. We wrote to them. We said, why did you do this to us? And they didn't respond. So we reported to police, and in the United Kingdom, there's a bit of legislation called the Equalities Act of 2010, right? And they classed the treatment that I received as a hate crime, a disability hate crime, and they also investigated with the restaurant. In any event, the media got hold of me, and suddenly my story went viral all over the world. I was in the BBC, I was in Sky News, I did some fantastic podcasts, which I'm still continuing to do. So it's reached literally millions. I can't tell you, so many millions of people have seen my story. They are inspired by the message of kindness that I now talk about. and I'm teaching people to be resilient. I'm using those lessons to help people be motivated and inspired. So, my friend, I can honestly say what happened to me was very, very good, despite it being a very difficult lesson. I've now tried to turn that pain that I experienced into some purpose, and my new mission is to speak to people about how do we do better in our treatment of people that look different. It's been a huge, huge blessing that it happened to me.
Wow, beautiful, sir. So, is that when you started your content creation, when you became
It
wild?
is. It is. And I would say there's a certain platform, I don't know if I can mention it, but Instagram, right? I started doing daily videos. The other platform, yeah, I started going for daily walks and I started to talk to people. And again, I say this quite often. There's a wonderful book that came out of South Africa called Country of My Skull. And it's based on a very dark part of South African history. But the author of that book, her name is Auntie Kroch. She said the only way to bear the unbearable is to tell it. So the only way we can make sense of our suffering is to tell a story. And storytelling is so powerful because we can share our pain with the world through storytelling. And it does one of two things. It helps to heal. It helps to bring about healing when we tell our story. It also helps other people to realize that they are not alone, that their pain and suffering means something. Okay. So storytelling is so incredibly powerful. And it's largely why I now spend so much time on the social media platforms because I want to tell my story to the world to encourage others and to motivate them.
What are some of the other painful or unjust experiences you have had due to how society perceives beauty?
Hmm. I think one of the more obvious ways that people with a visible difference are treated would be when it comes to a job interview. You will know and you will soon discover, perhaps, if you ever choose to go for a formal job interview, you have to dress up really smartly. You have to worry about your appearance, uh, and you have to make a really good first impression. And despite the fact that I might be qualified for a job, I might have the right skill set, I've been judged on many different occasions, not based upon my skills, but based upon how I look. So I think job interviews are particularly quite challenging when it comes to looking different. And there have been occasions where I've not received a job. I've not been successful in the job interview, not because I wasn't qualified on paper, but because they'd made some ridiculous comment about why they didn't give it to me. And I know that if they were honest with themselves, it was because of how I looked. I went for one job interview where I was very early for the interview, and the interviewer said, "But that shows them or demonstrates to them that I don't know how to manage my time properly." Now, of course, I can understand if I was late for an interview, that would be a bad thing. You would think that being early for an interview is a good thing, but to them, that was the excuse I gave. They gave. They couldn't find anything wrong with my skill set, but they had to find another way of saying, we don't actually want you because of how you look.
Right. And that's the painful situation that people face. And you have
Mm.
accepted that and you have moved forward, sir. Wow.
Yes, definitely.
Yes. So, did you ever wish to be someone else while growing up?
I think we've all had role models in our life. I used to think perhaps it might be nice to be a certain cricket player, to have the attention of the world, of course. But I can honestly say I don't think I ever wanted to be somebody else. Maybe I wanted the pain to stop or the rejection to stop. Maybe I wanted to be a popular child like everybody else sometimes wants to. Again, having a visible difference doesn't make me that different. We all have the same dreams, desires, and hopes for the future. So I think it's a issue that everyone faces, not just me having a visible difference. So I can't recall a specific moment, but I think we all have role models that we look up to and people that we aspire to be. That would be my answer to that question.
Yes. Have you ever felt like giving up? How did you bounce back?
I think we've all felt that there have been a couple of moments in the last few years where I just couldn't continue. I was emotionally, physically exhausted. And I say to other people, okay, feel sorry for yourself for an hour or two or three, but tomorrow you start again. So if there is anybody watching who is feeling exhausted, defeated, and they feel like they cannot carry on, I would say that's okay. You can feel sorry for yourself for an hour or two, but then tomorrow we wake up and we start again. So it's very natural to feel like you want to give up. But do not let those thoughts fester. Do not let them take root. They will only make you a very bitter, angry person. We've all faced injustice. We've all faced unfairness. You yourself lost your father, I believe, at a very young age, and we've all had hardships. But you do have to get on with life. You cannot just sit there moping, feeling sorry for yourself indefinitely. You have to get up and start again. And every morning is a brand new, fresh opportunity to do better, to start again, and to carry on.
Absolutely. You have to utilize the best resources that you have, no matter what comes in your life. You just need to
Mm,
stand up for yourself and just move forward because life will not wait for you. It
it
just
won't wait for you.
on its
Absolutely
own.
won't.
Yeah. When you feel low, what's something that makes you feel better?
I've got some distraction techniques. I spend some time with my family. I go for a lovely long walk. I live in a very beautiful part of the southeast of England, so there's lots of natural beauty, lots of green areas, lots of parks. Watch a nice movie, spend some time just relaxing at home, cooking a nice meal, and I enjoy the simple pleasures in life. Okay, so those are some of the things that help me when I'm feeling low.
Mm. Do you watch cricket?
I do watch cricket. South Africa used to be the top Test team in the world. I don't know if they still are, but I do enjoy Test cricket. I don't like the limited over version of the game as much, but it's a wonderful spectator sport, isn't it? T20 is wonderful. The IPL in your country is wonderful. I love cricket. Yeah.
Yeah. So which team do you support?
So South Africa, naturally, and then India.
Mm. Wow. Which player do you like the most in India,
To be
maybe?
honest, I don't know any of the new I don't know any of the current squad by name. I grew up with the Alan Donalds and the Sean Pollocks, my generation of cricket heroes. We had a when South Africa came out of isolation. So for the longest time, South Africa were not able to compete on the international arena. So our when I was in high school, the cricketers that were on the scene were the first of the international squad for many years. So those were our heroes, and we looked up to them. The Gary Kirstens, John T. Rhodes, who has coached IPL in your country. Those were all our cricketing heroes.
Mm. Wow. What advice would you give to someone who feels insecure about how they look?
Okay, so I would say what other people think about you is not your business. And people act badly towards you when they don't know any better. My other mantra is when we know better, we do better. So your job is to educate the world about the reason for why you look different. And I now teach people about neurofibromatosis because sometimes people are acting from a place of ignorance. They're not always acting deliberately to hurt you. They just don't know any better. So you can do this for the world. You can do it for other people with visible differences. This is what I'm doing. I'm now educating people about my condition because it's helping a whole community of people that never had a voice, people that hide away at home because of the way the world treats them, because the world does not know how to treat people that are different. So my two mantras are that when we know better, we do better. And what other people think about you is none of your business, and just be kind. Fill the world with love and be kind.
Right. How did you start speaking on stage or in public? Were you scared at first? How did you overcome that, if you have?
I wasn't, I believe in just telling one person your story. So the very first person I told was a wonderful journalist called Isabel that works for a local newspaper in London called the Southwark News. And her and I had a conversation over a drink in a pub, and I told her my story. And then it emboldened me to tell Sky News. I went onto Sky News, the late night show, and I spoke to 10 million people. I couldn't believe it, honestly. But I was just speaking to Sarah Jane, the wonderful journalist Sarah Jane, just having a conversation like I'm having with you, forgetting that I was actually speaking to 10 million people. And if you can connect on a very human level, just tell your story. Storytelling is powerful, I promise you. Be authentic. If you tell your own story, it won't come across as fake. People will believe you. It needs to be authentic. So tell your story. Don't make up a story. Be authentic and tell the truth. Really important. Tell the truth and just start telling your story to whoever will listen. Even if it's something as simple as just writing a very small Facebook post or a TikTok video. Practice talking into the mirror if you have to, and
Mm,
then go live and see what response you will get. It's been amazing. I've grown my followers little by little by consistently showing up every day and just telling my story. You don't have to do it all at once. It's going to take months and years. But if I were to tell you just a bit of advice, just be consistent. Keep showing up, keep doing what you're doing on a weekly basis, and the rest will come.
yeah. Who inspires you? Do you have any heroes?
Um, well, I have a beautiful, wonderful wife who's a person of deep faith, and I really admire her resilience. She's been through a hard time. I had the most amazing parents. I sadly lost my father last year, but I look up to them. I had a wonderful grandmother who encouraged me my whole life, and a wonderful uncle who's a person of faith, and a wonderful brother and family. So my family inspires me. They keep me going. And I wouldn't say I've been a person that's ever had specific superheroes or role models in the celebrity world. I draw upon the strength and the encouragement that I see in my family, in the way that they live their lives. People of real authenticity who have struggled their whole lives too and have overcome great challenges. So I look up to them.
Right. So support is one of the main thing, right?
Mm.
So if you had a superpower, what would it be and why?
If I had a superpower, it would be to allow everyone in the world to be confident in who they are, not to be insecure. I'd love everyone just to be confident, just to be authentic, and for the world to be a kinder place. Because believe you me, the world is not a kind place at all, and I'm trying to change that with my daily messages.
What's the biggest lesson life has taught you?
To take one day at a time. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. I
Mm,
use this analogy of every morning we're given a battery, okay? And that battery starts again when you wake up. Some people use the energy from that battery to worry about tomorrow and the next day and the day after that. Tomorrow's got its own battery. Today is all we have. Today is all that we are guaranteed. We're not guaranteed a future tomorrow or next day. Stop worrying about things that haven't happened.
yeah.
Live in the moment, live in the present, and take one day at a
As you said, the phone battery.
time.
Re-
Exactly.
Recharge yourself every single day. How you recharge your
Mm,
phone, plug into the
mm,
charging point. Yeah, beautiful.
exactly.
Yeah. What's something you love about yourself the most?
I love my sense of humor. I've got a fantastic sense of humor. I love being able to make other people laugh. I love the fact that I can think quite sharply and quickly about humorous moments, especially when I'm going through a hard time. I'm able to see the funny side of very difficult situations. So that's a I believe that's a great superpower, having a wonderful sense of humor.
Yeah. If you could go back in time and talk to teenager Oliver sir, what would you tell him?
Mm. I would I would reaffirm the messages that I had from my grandparents and my parents to believe in yourself, to not worry about what the world thinks about you, because those moments in school are fleeting. They don't last forever. Eventually, the bullies at school become the people that might work for you one day, or they might not have such an easy life in their future. School is fake. You know, the popular kids don't know it all, they don't have it all, and stop trying to fit in into a world that is fickle and a world that is false. Be yourself, be authentic, know who you are, and take one day at a time.
What message do you want every teenager to hear from you today?
Be kind, be kind, be the voice of kindness in a world that is unkind. Do one thing for another person. I tell you, another lesson that I've realized, and I'm learning this more and more as I get older, is that our suffering means something. I haven't suffered for nothing, and I now know how to turn my pain into purpose. So if you've gone through a hard time as a young person, use that to your advantage. Use that to make the world a different place, and make sure you leave this place in a better world than you found it by being more kind.
Wow. So teenagers, this is a time that you could, learn these points. So write down every single point that you are learning in this episode, and you will grow in
Mm,
life for sure if you
mm,
have
mm,
implementation and action of plan, right?
mm.
So you
Great.
speak a lot of humor, hope, and faith as you spoke today. Also, how have each of these helped you navigate life with enough?
Well, it's been a long journey, and it's been a tumultuous, and often you have good days, you have bad days, and we all need anchors in our life. Otherwise, we're just a ship sailing in a storm of life that we don't know where we are, and we don't have a rudder, we don't have any direction. We all need anchors. So my three anchors are my faith, my family, my purpose, right? Somebody once said that the only way to get through a hard time is to get through it with one of three things. We all need something to do. We all need something to look forward to, and we all need somebody to love. These are anchors in our life without which life is meaningless, has no purpose, has no direction. So make sure you know what your three anchors are and hold on to them, because life is going to get hard, especially as you get older. It's not going to get any easier. Make sure you have those anchors in place, and they will help to make life a little easier. Of course, it's not going to take away the hard times, but it's going to help you make sense of those hard times, and it's going to help you with direction in your life. It's going to help you navigate the storms of life. So make sure those three anchors are in place.
What does healing mean to you? Not just physically, not just emotionally and spiritually.
So healing, that's a great question. It's a bit deeper. It means healing to me would mean, I think, when I finally accepted myself for who I am, with despite the lumps and the bumps, the different face, just being content, happy, enjoying life. That's healing. Having good mental health. That means I've arrived at a place that I love myself for who I am. I think healing is fluid, so it changes. So I don't think you ever arrive at a place where you have been fully healed, fully restored. That might happen afterlife, right? But I don't think, I think it's just being, waking up one day, finally thinking, you know what, I'm okay. I did okay. Self love, accepting yourself for who you are, being content, present in the moment. I think that is healing. And I don't think it's a destination. I think it's a journey.
Yeah. So how is your life now?
Life is difficult. So, I mean, I have challenges with my health. I've got everyday challenges, but I'm so grateful for life. Where there's life, there is hope. I wake up every morning and it's a new opportunity to do something for others. I work for the National Health Service in the United Kingdom. I work helping people navigate poor mental health. So that's my job. I work for a crisis line, so people call in with mental health difficulties. So it's a great privilege to stand with people as they navigate the storms of life. And that gives my life meaning and purpose, for which I am very, very grateful.
How can we, as a society, start breaking the stigma around appearances and disabilities?
So we need to see more people in the media with visible differences. We want to not just see the beautiful Bollywood superstars, right? We want to normalize a visible difference. And how do we do that? Well, we give people like me an opportunity to speak on TV. If a young person with my condition looks at me and I'm succeeding in the media space, that will encourage them to maybe do something meaningful with their life. So let's start giving more and more opportunities to people that look different. Let's start normalizing visible differences. Let's start seeing more people like me appear in movies, TV adverts, whatever it is. We need to start making visible difference more normalized.
Right. I think one thing that we need to remember is that, and we need to understand that it doesn't matter how we look, the appearance, it only matters how
Mm,
you connect, how you create bond with that person, and how much you
mm,
learn from the other person. That's more important than
mm.
the seeing the appearances that people have.
Absolutely. And what value am I as Oliver adding to this world? Everyone needs to add value. You cannot go through life just being a consumer of life, somebody that's an energy vampire, somebody that sucks energy out of life. You need to start adding value to life. And we can all do something despite our inabilities, our disabilities, our poor mental health. We can all do something to add value to this world.
And also, you are here with a purpose in life. God is not brought you here with some disabilities because you have done something
Mm,
wrong, but for a reason that you will do good and
mm.
you will achieve what you wanted to achieve.
No, that's so true. Very true. And I hope that more of us can find our calling early on in life. It took me 43 years to suddenly decide that I want to spend my life advocating for others, telling my story, motivating, inspiring. Try and find out what it is you want to do with your life and then do it with all your heart because we've only been given a very short trip around the sun, a couple of years, and then it's over. Make sure you make a difference. Make sure that you make this journey count.
What's next for Oliver sir? Any new projects, talks, or dreams you are working on?
I'm looking at doing some motivational talks. I'd love to do something in the media space. Whoever can help me with that, I would be grateful. And always looking for different opportunities to speak to young people on podcasts, to my various social media channels. So lots to look forward to. But most importantly, I'm so incredibly grateful for opportunities such as this for helping me to tell my story. And I'd encourage everybody, please tell your story. It matters.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir. I'm very grateful that I am bringing a guest from South Africa who is based there, right? Yeah.
Mm.
How can people support your work and advocacy?
Thank you. So on Instagram, I'm at Bromley O, at Bromley O. That's BROMLEYO. And on TikTok, I'm at Oliver Bromley from TV. It's long, perhaps I need to change it, but mainly on Insta at Bromley O and on TikTok at Oliver Bromley from TV.
Wow, amazing. So go ahead and stay connected with sir. He's gonna share many new things that you could learn from. Today
Thank
is
you.
just was the beginning, the trailer. You will see more and more Oliver programs, projects,
Mhm.
motivational talks in Sir's Instagram channel. So moving forward, Finally, what's your message to our listeners today?
Be kind, fill the world with love, and be kind.
Wow, now when we come to the end of this episode, we move on to rapid questions, one round, fire, rapid. So let's begin. Are you excited, sir?
Yes, let's go.
Yeah, one word to describe your journey.
Uh, Traumatizing.
Favorite childhood memory.
Swimming pools.
If you could keep a name for your journey, what would be its name?
Unbelievable.
Hmm. Tea or coffee?
Coffee.
Your biggest strength,
Resilience.
your secret talent.
Singing.
Wow. One fear you have overcome.
Snakes.
A person you admire the most.
My wife.
A person you know love the most.
A group of people. My family.
Favorite movie that makes you smile.
Saving Private Ryan.
Music that lifts your mood.
Classical.
Morning or night person.
Morning.
Wow, amazing. Beautiful. That was brilliant. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you for having me. Great, great honor. Thank you.
thank you. So, what type of songs do you hear?
I love all music. I like classical music. I love the music from the 60s, the 70s, the 80s. I just love anything. I don't like too much modern music, right? I don't know it very well, but I like the Bee Gees, an old group called the Carpenters. I love old music. That's probably my mom's generation, her influence on me. But I like classical music. My dad passed away last year, and he loved classical music. So, and what about you?
Yeah, I listen to Telugu songs more often,
Right,
and because it's my mother tongue, and
of course.
about Allu Arjun's songs, it could be those songs, and also
Mm,
a few type of Kannada movie songs, and also
mm,
English
mm.
to night,
Wow.
these memories, these kinds of songs.
Yes. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Amazing, amazing. Well, you amazing what you're doing. Well done.
Thank you, sir. And one more thing I want to share that no, I was recently having a conversation, also engagement with the audience, and I had sent them a poll saying that which country do you want for my next podcast, and in that I also added South Africa, and
Okay,
yeah,
amazing.
yeah, there was a battle between Singapore and South Africa. Yeah,
Okay.
this is so.
I'm based in the UK though, isn't it?
Yeah,
Even
yeah.
though I'm from South Africa. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So then people were having 50-50% as Singapore and also South Africa.
Mm.
Finally,
Okay,
people said it is South Africa because
amazing.
you are brought up from South Africa and based UK. So then I
Yes,
just kept it as South Africa.
amazing. Well done. Really good.
Wow. Thank you so much, sir. So how did you feel
Thank you.
this episode doing this
It was
podcast?
really good. You're very, very comfortable, very confident. Thank you for the opportunity. You've done amazing. You're doing well. Keep it up.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for your time. And the
No, you're welcome.
last message you would give to the audience and me.
Uh, Find that one thing that you love to do and pursue it with all your heart because, as I said, this is a very short journey. Just keep searching for that thing that you love to do and don't give up.
Absolutely, yes. So, audience, this is the time that you could go up to the comment box and give your feedback so that I can bring those feedback into the sir's picture and we all can celebrate and enjoy together. So thank you so much,
Thank
sir.
you.
Thank you so much, audience, for being a
Thank
part
you.
of this episode. Looking forward to have you all in my next episode 34. Till then, take care and goodbye.
Bye bye.